Good morning, student. I hope you got your computer's syllabus and you maybe come to know that when is your computer exam. Now, let me tell you the syllabus of computer exam. From part A, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. In the last class, I covered the unit 1. Let me tell you one more thing. From this part A, it's only 10 marks. So, from this part A, you have to main focus on main definitions, headings and the subheadings and try to understand the concept. Rest of the things you can able to write it in your own language also. In this part A, you have the thing which you are facing every day and which you are experiencing every day. So it's very easy to write it in your own language also. You have seen in unit 1 also. Today I am will discuss unit 2 and unit 3. So let me start my unit 2. Last class we have wind up here. So from here let us start. Our class is self-management skill. Now what is self-management? Self-management refers to the management of oneself or taking responsibility for his own behavior. What is the reason behind the promotion of self-management? We do not want the individual to be dependent on anyone. It should have a confidence. It should provide a long-term and sustainable mechanism for handling personal life. It also guides us to develop our knowledge, our manners, our habits, our intentions, our deeds. Right? It also guides the individual to self-monitor, to self-evaluate, to self-reinforcement only because of developing a self-confidence in oneself. Now, what are the self-management skills? That is self-confidence, stress management, and the independent working, team player, team management, self-motivation, personality management. You know it. If a person have the good self-confidence, he or she is able to handle his social life and personal life successfully, and he can enjoy also. So these are the simple things is given in this unit. Now I will take you to the next unit, that is role of ICT. What is the full form of ICT? Information and communication technology. Right now you know it, we are sitting in home because of a simple and typical virus which look like a simple but is a very typical virus, but still we are able to communicate, still we are able to contact with anyone because of this information technology. Now what is the role of this IT in our workplace? Let us see. You know it, how we can use the ICT at home, playing games, listening music, and receiving and sending mails. Similarly, in education, you know it, right now you have the online classes only because of information technology. Now, in the healthcare, doctors are using computers for doing typical operation or taking some help from the computers only. And in the governance, you know it, in the news also you have heard, all the government meeting is going on with the help of only this information technology. Even in the businesses also we are buying, we are purchasing, it's doing with the help of ICT only. Even our society, people are able to interact with the help of this ICT. So altogether in the conclusion we can say ICT have a big impact on our day to day life. Now what are the tools? I think everyone have the answer. What are those? Mobiles, tablets, radio, TV, online newspapers, email, whiteboards, e-readers. These all are the tools of the ICT. Now, we'll talk about what are components of the computer systems. What are the basic component of computer system? We know it. Data means computer is working on only data. It is an electronic device. We enter the data with the help of this, then it get processed and we get the output. So we have divided the computer into two parts, that is hardware and the software. Hardware we can touch it, software is the set of instructions. Now, what are the hardwares of the computer? Input device, output device, processing unit and the storage unit. This is come under hardware. And what are the things we have in the software? All the program. Let us see this block diagram. How our computer work. Whatever the data we take with the help of input device, it will first goes to the CPU. It's called central processing unit, and data get processed here, and after that we can see our result on the output unit or the monitor. Let us take one example. I have taken number like 2 3 and I want to add, so I have taken one operation, that is plus. That whole data you will enter with the help of keyboard. It will goes to the first memory unit, and then control unit will check what the data has come under the memory unit, and then it will take the decision that it has to be added, so it will send to the arithmetic unit. There it will get added. After getting the result from there, it will send to the output unit, and then we are able to see our result on the monitor or the printer. This is the way our computer works. This is the whole block diagram of computers. This is what I just said. You know it. What is input devices, what is output devices, and what is CPU, what is the function of CPU, and what are the part it have. We have just seen memory unit, control unit, and ALU. If you have understood the example, now you can understand all this theory. It's not so difficult, right? What is software? Let us see. We have divided the software in three parts, that is system software, utility software, and application software. In the system software we have operating system and the language processor. In the application software we have a general purpose and the customize, and in the language processor we have compiler, assembler, and interpreter. If you remember, when I was teaching you basic language, that time I have discussed about these terms. Now after language processor, let us come to the utility programs. Antivirus, compression, disk management. This is all our utilities. Fine. Now let us come to the next point, that is primary and the secondary memory. What is there in the primary memory and the secondary memory? Primary memory is the memory their data stored for a temporary basis, and the secondary memory is a memory there we can store the data permanently. And primary memory is divided into two parts, RAM and ROM. RAM is random access memory and ROM is read-only memory. Right? Now, how the data come under read-only memory? It is written by the manufacturer of the computer. And what is there in the RAM? As I told you at the time of explaining the block diagram, whatever the data we enter through the keyboard, first it will goes to the random access memory. This is the memory unit. You know it. 1 byte is equals to 8 bit. 1 kilobyte is equals to 24 bytes, and 1 megabyte is equals to 1024. This is the whole table is given here. Read only memory. I hope you will be clear with this. Secondary storage, CD, DVD, pen drive. Now input devices. What is a simple input device? That is keyboard. What is the output device? Monitor, printer. These are come under output device. Storage devices, you all are using every day, PD, CD, right? Now, what are the peripherals? Don't get confused with the term peripherals. All the connected devices with the computers is called peripherals. It includes input device, it includes output device, it covers storage device. This is come under this. So this is what all explain here. You know it, how many type of keys we have on the keyboard: alphanumeric keys, special keys, function keys, and cursor movement keys, right? Mouse, you know how to use the mouse. Laptops, joystick, light pens, graphics, scanners, these are the devices we have. Microphones. So these are the things we have. Now what are the output device we have? I need not to explain to you again and again. That is, again I will take all the monitors and all the different type of printers. There are different type of printers we have. And plotters, you know what is plotters? Print large size engineering architectural drawing on a paper or the polyester film speaker. Every day you are using it. So by this I come to end of this session. Bye.